Hey everyone, welcome to the Red Men TV breaking news live here on Thursday lunchtime. I am Steve Hoare. Liverpool have signed Milos Kerkez. It is a done deal. It's complete. We're here to talk about it. Let's just get the confirmation in black and white. Wasn't lying to you. There you go. Liverpool FC, we have completed the signing of Milos Kerkez from AFC Bournemouth. Yeah, let us know your thoughts. Everyone watching along live now in the YouTube chat, get those out and about. Let's find out who we've got. Lewis says, Kerkez at 12 p.m. on a Thursday. Did I say Tuesday? Thursday. Who would have thought? Yeah, I mean, no one. Literally, on my dinner break, if truth be told, the whole Red Men team were just about to go out to lunch and then Liverpool tweeted a little eyes emoji or whatever. So yeah, we weren't, I'll be honest, we weren't ready, sort of ready. We had a few bits lined up, but yeah, we weren't exactly all over this one either. James Bradley says, so Kerkez is the third signing so far of a window we've dominated. I can't wait to see what happens next. Liverpool, obviously, Jeremy Frimpong, Florian Wirtz, and now Milos Kerkez, Arne Slot, really putting his stamp and his authority on his squad. You can add, by the way, I know it was technically last year, but you've got Georgi Mamadashvili as well, is the fourth player that you can, of course, get yourselves excited to see as well. But yeah, Liverpool have been excellent this transfer window. Again, I go back to it. It is June 26th, and Liverpool have already completed 3 signings. Technically 4 with the goalkeeper. They've got 4 new players in before, like I say, the end of June. Really, really good news. That means they can all be available for the whole of pre-season, which I think is massive. It always is. So, yeah, it's really great news. I agree with you, James. Liverpool have really started to dominate this transfer window. Let's see who else we've got. Graz says, nice one. The lad's quality. Shut the fuck up about the others and let's enjoy today. Yeah, you don't always want to look too far ahead. On Milos Kerkez, like I say, he's fantastic. He really is. He's a really good player. He's a young player. Was obviously desperate to get to Liverpool, as we all knew. He's an absolute top player. In terms of the deal itself, according to James Pearce of The Athletic, the deal is costing Liverpool £40 million. He has signed a 5-year contract that will run until 2030. So it's a £40 million deal for Kerkez, and he's under contract till 2030. Similar deal, actually, in terms of contract length that Florian Wirtz signed as well. Right. Let me know your thoughts, everyone. Let us know in the chat. What are your thoughts on Milos Kerkez? Let's see. Milos, says KDs, a lot of people haven't heard him about much, but listen, he would be decent. I mean, I think a lot of people have been talking about him. Absolutely. Celtic Pool 99 says, I love his comments that Liverpool are the biggest club in England. I mean, yeah, obviously, the most successful club in England, definitely, and the biggest. But it's been obvious for a while, hasn't it, that the fella wants to join us. It's no surprise. He's kind of made it crystal clear everywhere he's been that he's wanted to sign us. In terms of what he said, and I've got some quotes here from the LFC website, he said, I'm really happy. It's a real honour for me. It's a privilege to come and play for one of the biggest clubs in the world, the biggest club in England. I'm just really, really happy and excited. After this, I'll go home, and in my home time, I will enjoy a few days, and then I really can't wait to come back, put the training kit on, and start to train and prepare for the season. Goes on, yeah, just there's some of his stats and why Liverpool have decided to sign him. He then adds, I would just want to thank everyone for really showing me big love even before it was announced. But keep supporting the team like you always support, because you're the biggest fan base in the world. I'm going to give you everything, absolutely everything, to win trophies with the club and hopefully score some goals at Anfield. I can't wait to hear the roar, and I'll see you soon. Yeah, it's been, like I say, he's been desperate to join Liverpool. He's made it crystal clear that he wants to be a Red, and he's got that, his dream come true for him, like he says. And they're the type of ways that you want to hear from your fullback, isn't it? That he's here for, and he wants to be here, and he's giving it everything to make Liverpool win trophies. FPL Hero says, which left back do you think will be moved on? It's a good question. Liverpool aren't going to keep 3 of them, you would think. I always presumed it was going to be Kostas Tsimikas. Now, I think it's probably going to be Andy Robertson. I think the Atletico Madrid stuff coming out a few weeks ago, there's probably a little bit of fire to go with that smoke. So I always presumed it would be Kerkez and Andy Robertson. I've got a feeling now it's probably going to be Kerkez and Tsimikas, and I think Robbo is going to move on. It would be my guess. I would prefer it the other way, if I'm honest. I would like Andy Robertson to stay, but the mood music suggests maybe Robbo, not quite ready to give up that position as an absolute first choice starter, and he wants to play more games. He's not quite happy with the backup role. I think maybe he'll end up finding himself in Madrid. I think Robertson's brilliant, but that's just the way the mood music seems to be suggesting. These things, when they come out like that, probably have a little bit of something into it. Christy says, I'm here for midweek Milos getting red. Yeah, it wasn't exactly Milos Monday, was it, that we were all expecting? Tuesday, Wednesday, no, didn't happen at all. I heard some rumours that it was Dua Lipa's fault that Liverpool didn't announce it till today. But yeah, very lunchtime on a Thursday, Liverpool get the signing that we all knew was going to happen. It's out there now. Right. Naldo says Kerkez was very flattering to Robertson, though. Maybe he wants him to stay and learn. Yeah, he was very complimentary of Andy Robertson in his interview. I think he mentioned John Arisa as well. Of course, I listen. I'm sure he would like him to stay, but if someone's come to Andy Robo and had a word and said you're not going to play much, mate, I can see why Liverpool would allow him to leave if that's what he wants. Again, I would like him to stay, but that would be my guess. Tom Rooney says, proper business this, getting them in early, young, talented players. Yeah, there's look at the age ranges of the lads we've signed, early to mid-20s at latest, all of them. And like I said, it goes back to my point before, doesn't it? June 26th. I always feel sorry for players, and let me caveat that. I feel sorry in terms of, I'm not feeling sorry for you that you're getting paid loads of money to play for Liverpool, that's good. I always find it's probably a bit more difficult to join so late on in the window. I felt there was a reason why Ryan Gravenberch's first season was very hit and miss, up and down. He arrives on deadline day, he's missed all the pre-season with the team, he's gone through none of that stuff, and all of a sudden he's just thrust into action. That's quite difficult. Milos Kerkez, Jeremy Frimpong, Mamardashvili and Florian Wirtz will all get a full pre-season with Arne Slot. They'll all be on the pre-season tour. They have that... They reconvene on the 7th. It might be a little bit different for the guys who've been on international duty. They might get a few more days, but they all start dribs and drabs that week. Then they'll have a full week before they play Preston in a friendly. Then they'll have another full week before they go to Asia for the tour. So Arne Slot's going to have loads of time with these lads, and I think that's massively significant. Listen, ultimately it's about getting good players, but if you can get good players in and get them in early, I think it's an absolute bonus. My guess would be now, Liverpool are probably going to focus on a few sales. I think, the squad's probably too big now. I know for a fact they're already over the homegrown limit, so they have to get rid of a few of those. So people were talking about what's coming next, and listen, I think Liverpool are probably going to buy a centre forward, and they're probably going to buy a central defender. I wouldn't be surprised if they're waiting, obviously, the Kwanzaa move to Leverkusen to be confirmed after his involvement with England under 21s. We're expecting Darwin Núñez maybe to go to Napoli. There's been talk today again about Harvey Elliott, who's smashing it for the 21s. Maybe he's going to move on. I mentioned before Andy Robertson. Maybe Chiesa in this mix as well. Probably see a few sales happen first. Not only for the money. The money, of course, is important, but also the idea of getting your squad numbers right. Liverpool over their non-homegrown quota now. So if they want to bring any more foreign players in, they literally couldn't be able to register them. So they're going to have to wait, of course, now. I think they're quite confident of freeing up a few spots, but they'll probably want to be confirmed. Let's see who else we've got. Adam said I would keep Harvey for the homegrown numbers. It isn't really the homegrown number, it's the non... You don't have to have homegrown players. You just can't have more than 17 non-homegrown players. So I think they'll be fine in that regard, but they're probably just going to have to sell a few of these other foreign lads before they keep them. But my guess is Harvey will move on as well. I wouldn't. Again, I would just keep all the good players, but he was already getting a game anyway, and then they've just signed Florian Wirtz. Makes it more difficult. Let me know your guys. I want everyone's thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on Kerkez. What are you looking forward to seeing from him? What do you think he's going to offer? Maybe Liverpool had a few issues at left back last season. Was there anything that you didn't like that you saw from Robertson and Tsimikas that you think Milos Kerkez is going to rectify? I'd love to know your thoughts on the player himself. Roger Rabbit, nice name, just says what a signing. Yeah, he is. I think he's a great player. I think he's only going to get better. Age 21, he had his move to Milan. It didn't quite work out. He had to go back. Went to Bournemouth and really put a massive showing in there, and kicked on. Obviously, Richard Hughes knows him. Julie Depper, or Deeper, maybe Julie Leaper. Yeah, maybe that's fine. It says brilliant. I would agree with you as well. Riku says hopefully he can hit the ground running. He is, like I say, he is the first player of the players we've mentioned who is coming straight from the Premier League. So you would think the adaptation should be a little bit easier. Of course, how he's going to be expected to play at Liverpool will be a bit different than what he was expected at Bournemouth, but actually not that much different. He was expected to provide an attacking threat there as well, while also being defensively solid, and he showed he can do that, hence why Liverpool spent 40 million quid on him. You don't have to worry, do you, about the adapting to the Premier League. We know he can do that. He's already done it. Mitch says, yeah, Kerkez will fit in instantly. Yeah, he should do. You would like to think he should, shouldn't he? Robert Tring says, Kerkez just does everything that Andy Robertson used to do 4 years ago. I've kind of said that. Comparing players is always difficult. It's always hard. Like, who does he remind you of? Kerkez does remind me of a bit of Andy Robertson from 4 or 5 years. He does. I think a lot of people talk about Kerkez and talk about, as an attacking player, and he's a very good attacking player. He's got a really good cross. He's got a great engine. He gets up and down. He can score a goal as well, like he mentioned himself. I think defensively he's really solid. I think he's really good in one-on-ones. His recovery pace helps him a little bit there as well. So yeah, he is effectively a bit like a young Andy Robertson. I think I've said that myself, so I would agree with that comment. Danny says the same thing. He is so much like Robbo, it's uncanny. Aaron T. Kerkez is like Alberto Moreno, but with a brain. Poor Alberto. Andre says, although he's very young, Kerkez has experience. He is a solid fullback with gigantic potential. He is the perfect buy. Yeah, I always like buying young players and you're looking ahead to the future. But this Liverpool team are in a window now where they can win trophies. We don't quite know what City are going to be. Let's see what Arsenal are, etc., etc. Strike while the iron's hot. So buying a young player is always good, but it's like, can you get a young player who can contribute right now and be good enough right now? Yes. Milos Kerkez is that. We know, we've seen him do it. He played every single Premier League game. He started every single Premier League game for Bournemouth last year. We know he can do it in this league. So yeah, it's one of those where you're like, he should just fit in straight away and get the job done, and hopefully he does. Not guaranteed. It's never easy to move teams, of course, and there's a step up. With all due respect to Bournemouth, moving to Liverpool is a whole different level of stratosphere. There's more pressure, there's more eyes on you. You're playing in harder games each in terms of Champions League, all that kind of stuff. More demand on your body, but what you've seen of Milos Kerkez suggests he should be ready to be able to cope with that. Like I say, one of his biggest attributes is just his strength and his availability, and that engine he's got. He just doesn't stop. He is a supremely fit athlete, and he'll need to be to play left back at Liverpool. Ellie says he can shoot better than Robertson. Yeah, he definitely can. Listen, all our left backs like just towing it over the bar when they're inside the box. If Kerkez can get a few on target, that'll do well. LFC Kid says we're winning the Champions League next year. I said that. I think we're going to do well in the Champions League. Naldo says, I wanted Anthony Robinson initially, but age Milos is the better deal and there's not much difference. Yeah, I like Robinson, by the way. I think he's a good player. The age thing is the obvious one. I would actually say Kerkez is the better player as well. But yeah, Robinson's a good player, but you are right, the age profile and that kind of stuff. I think you're right on. R&T says, how many signings is too many? You don't want to disrupt the winning apple cart too much. Yeah, I see your point, Aaron. What I would say is that you had to buy Frimpong because Trent left, so you needed a right back. It was clear left back was an issue last year at times. Arne Slot never quite decided upon Timmercast Robertson rather. It wasn't brilliant. Sometimes they had good games, but it was quite inconsistent. And then he obviously wanted more goals from his midfield, so he goes and gets Florian Wirtz. So I see your point, but I think they were all necessities. Now, I agree. I think Liverpool will probably sign 2 more players. So you're saying 5 this summer, plus the goalkeeper from last year, so 6. But your backup goalie's your backup goalie. I don't think that's hugely significant. Hopefully, he can do as well or better than Quavian Kelleher did in that role. Again, I go back to your right back and your left back. I think you had to sign. You're going to have to sign a centre back now because you're selling one, albeit one again the manager didn't trust. So I don't think you're losing too much there. Wirtz is a genius. He's just a wonderful player, so not too much worries there as well. Same with centre forward, really. Liverpool need one. They haven't got one that I don't think Arne Slot's completely sold on. So that's kind of where we're at. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's horrendous. You're right, though. This idea of signing 8, 9, 10 players and this massive overhaul in that regard, I don't think is going to happen. But we'll see how it all pans out. Invest Connect says, wow, if we get Gay and a top striker as well, I will literally wow. I don't know what that means because you've already said wow at the start. Anyway, it's fine. I think I think Liverpool will sign a centre-back. They're not going to let Jell Kwanzaa go without getting one. Whether it's Gay or not, we'll find out. I think it'll make sense to be an English player based on the homegrown stuff we talked about before. And yeah, Liverpool, they're not going to, again, I don't think they're going to sell Núñez and potentially Chiesa without bringing a forward in. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe someone like a Ben Doak fills the Chiesa role in the squad as like that 6th option. But I think if they're going to let Núñez go, which it looks like they are, then they probably are going to sign somebody. Again, there's lots of Isak talk, and I understand that. There's been talk about Fofana from Lyon. You know, their issues maybe open that door as well. So perhaps there's more to come. I'll be honest. The Isak thing would be amazing. I don't personally see it happen. I just don't think Newcastle are going to sell him. But we'll find. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope they do. But I do think Liverpool are going to sign a striker and a centre forward next thing. I say maybe a winger if they do let Chiesa go. But for now, let's stick on the talk of Milos Kerkez. It's his show. Right. Let's see who else. Joseph says, how many of the new signings line up on day one of the season? Good question. I think Kerkez and Frimpong will start that game. Florian Wirtz will start that game. Maybe the striker, or I wouldn't be shocked if they don't. So I'm gonna say 3, maybe 4. I'm gonna say 3, maybe 4. Yeah. Clive092 says, what a summer. Yeah, absolutely. Liverpool getting the deals done nice and early. So yeah, I think it's been great so far. And yeah, like I say, in terms of Kerkez himself, I think he's fabulous. I really do. I think he's an excellent player. Glenn Miller says, I like the way Kerkez is talking as well. Very positive. The same goes for all 3 signings. Yeah, you can listen. Ultimately, they're doing a sit-down interview with the official Liverpool channel on the day they sign for the club. They're probably going to be happy about it. You know what I mean? Like, they are going to be. You would suggest it wouldn't go out if they were fucking miserable. What I would say about Milos Kerkez, and you can say the same for Frimpong and Florian Wirtz, is that there were options to go elsewhere. We know Florian Wirtz turned down City, he turned down Bayern Munich and the option to stay at Leverkusen. There was interest in Jeremy Frimpong. He didn't have to leave. He could have stayed at Leverkusen, competing for Bundesligas and Champions League again. He chose, once Liverpool made it clear that they would activate the clause to come here. And Milos Kerkez, by all accounts, again, City were sniffing around him and he chose not to go there. He apparently made it clear from early on that he wanted to play for Liverpool. I think Richard Hughes played a massive part in that as well. I think his dad confirmed that on a podcast in I think it was in Hungary, wasn't it? So the fact that these players want to be here and they've maybe turned down other options to be here is nice. What they say in the interviews is always sound, you know what I mean? But you're always going to get good sound bites, but actions speak louder than words. And when Bayern Munich, potentially Real Madrid were sniffing around Florian Wirtz, you know, you've had City sniffing around players, Leverkusen certainly were the ones those players, Bayern Munich I go back to before. When that level of football club is sniffing around players and they choose to join you, those actions suggest that actually that they wanted to be here, which is fantastic. Like I said, Milos Kerkez has made he hasn't been quiet in coming forwards, has he, about the fact that he wants to be a Liverpool player. The casual MMA says the concept of our left back scoring at least 4 goals is interesting. Yeah, Andy Robbo, loads of assists back in the day, not so much more recently. Maybe a change in style of play, a little bit of change in what he's asked to do. Maybe again the body, just maybe not letting him down a bit, but maybe hindering him a little bit in that regard. What I would say is that you say 4 goals from left back. He's only scored 7 goals in his entire career, Milos Kerkez. So I wouldn't be banking too much on too many goals. He got 2 last season in the Premier League, of course, for Bournemouth. He got 5 in that season with AZ in 22-23 back in Holland, where I'm sure Arne Slot knew a little bit about him there as well. But yeah, he 5 goals in that season, 2 last year. You'd be hoping to get a few. You think he might have a couple in them. Let's see who else we've got. James says we're linked with Victor Gyökeres, that's amazing so far. Yeah, I've again, there's been loads of players rumoured to be on the market for a striker. I thought Gyökeres might be going to Arsenal, but who knows? Where we're at with that, with the centre forward stuff. I'm sure there will be one coming in. That is for certain. Cam Tro, I think Kerkez allows us to play on the other side. He takes some of the pressure off Frimpong, which gives the team time to bed in at Liverpool and the Prem. Oh, which gives him time, sorry. Oh, I see what you're saying. It allows Frimpong to settle down a little bit more. You don't have to use him too much. I see your point. Yeah, maybe you're right. Conor Bradley's there, by the way. Conor Bradley's a top player and is an option for Frimpong. The same with Kerkez. Maybe, I mentioned before about having to play loads of games. He might not have to play as many because Liverpool will have a backup option, whether that's Robertson or Timmercast there. So, I see your point. If Kerkez is already signed with the Premier League and he gets the language, he gets the culture of England and whatever, and the league, it may be using him a bit more allows Frimpong to settle down. I do see your point there. And I think Conor Bradley will allow that to happen too. Benny MG, Kerkez will open a lot of opportunities for the winger on the left. Yeah, there's been loads of talk, hasn't he? Gakpo and Diaz both being linked with moves away again. Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Saudi Arabia. I would be shocked, to be honest, if Liverpool sold either of those players. I don't think that would happen. But you're all right, Kerkez will get up and support. I mean, to be fair, Andy Robertson did. Kostas Timmercast not so much. He was more like he would prefer to stay a little bit deeper, but he definitely got forward when he could. But you are right, Kerkez bombing forward and those overlapping and underlapping runs. Yeah, you'd like to think whoever's playing fullback for the other team, and of course the winger as well. You have to do a lot of work going backwards, which I think will of course help Liverpool. Let's see who else we've got. Geraldo says, I don't want Robbo to go. He would be the perfect mentor for Kerkez. I would agree with that one. Invest again. Connect says, Kerkez's energy and engine are impressive. They're probably his two best attributes, actually. He's a very good technical footballer, don't get me wrong. And he's not like a sprinter. You know, he's all huff and puff, but actually got no ability. We've seen he has. You know, he can cross a ball. I mean, we've all seen the videos of the crosses he can put in and the way he does. But you are right. I think his energy and his pace and his power and his ability to just go and go and go are his biggest attributes. And again, whether Arne Slot will tweak it a little bit and he maybe asks him not to do as much, or goes, you know what, actually, the reason I didn't ask my fullbacks last year to do as much as that was because I don't think they could do it. Now I've got these absolute two flying machines. I can get them going all day. We'll find that out. I'm looking forward to seeing both of them when pre-season starts. That is for sure. Michael Quinn, do you not think we should give them 6-year contracts so you can do a new deal in 4 years instead of 3 years? Listen, 5 years is a plenty. Yeah, of course you would like to do more deals in 4 years instead of 3 years, but who cares really? 5 years feels about right to me. And also from a player's point of view, I think they're probably comfortable with that as well. There's probably PSR reasons and all this kind of stuff when you're spreading it. I think the longer you can have a contract, the better in terms of spreading out the value of the contract across it. But I think 5 years is fine. You know, 2030 is a long time away. Geez, think back to where Liverpool were 5 years ago. 5 years ago, actually, they were just winning the Premier League for the first time in 30 years. The world was in lockdown. It was a crazy time. A lot changes in 5 years. You know what I mean? Who knows where we're all going to be in June 2020, in 2030. So much to do before then. So I don't believe it's too big a deal. Naldo again says, I like his aggression. He's aggressive and we need that bite. He is very aggressive. Yeah, he absolutely is. You're not wrong there. Kristen says, where do you think this little drive for Eastern European players is coming from? You've got Kerkez, Mamardashvili, Szoboszlai. I think it's just, mate, the football is so global. It's always been global. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is a relatively new thing, but there are players from all over the world coming to European football now and proving themselves. You know, it wasn't always that case. A lot of times, maybe players from Hungary would stay in and around Hungary. Maybe players from, Georgia. Would you see too many of them? No, but now everyone can see everything. There's no hidden gems anymore. There's eyes on every single game of football over the world. So it's easier for these type of players to get picked up into the systems and then move on. So like I say, if you look at the journey Milos Kerkez has had, he was playing, I think it's pronounced Yor, but I apologize if my Hungarian is absolutely atrocious there. That was in 2020. So during lockdown, effectively, I know Hungary didn't really have one. Melansium. So he plays 18 games, and I'm pretty sure it was in the second division. of the Hungarian system, and AC Milan find him. And then obviously it doesn't quite work out. He ends up going to AZ, and then Bournemouth see him at AZ. Everyone sees everything now. There's no hidden gems anymore. I think maybe it's a little bit to do with that as well. And I think you're seeing that all across the world. You know what I mean, look at where some of the best players in the world come from, and it's a vast variety of places. So I think it's probably a little bit to do with that. Like I say, during a global pandemic, AC Milan were able to get eyes on a player in the Hungarian second division. Everyone sees everything all the time now. Right, let's see who else we've got here. Sean Granger, great business up to now. I'm just waiting to see the new shirts the boys will be wearing. Yeah, of course, they don't have to do their squad numbers yet because they're not going to sell any shirts anyway with them on because the new season, the new shirt doesn't come out till August. This thing where Liverpool can't start the Adidas deal until August means effectively they're all doing promo in the Nike shirts that really no one's going to buy because it goes out of date in about 5 weeks. And also they're probably waiting to see who leaves as well. I think that's probably a part of it. You know, there's probably a few numbers there that someone might have their eyes on, so maybe it's a little bit to do with that one as well. Right, who else have we got? The Bartet, he said, great planning. Yeah, Liverpool's planning. And again, maybe, you know, the fact that they won the Premier League so early, they had like a month off, didn't they, really, extra? I wonder if that's played into this. Where was Richard, the day Liverpool beat Spurs, everyone went out and had the party of their lives, the players, the staff, everyone, I'm sure they did. And then effectively, the players were on holiday all the time. They were going back and forth, Arne Slot was away. I wonder then if Richard, like, that's apparently, you know, those talks in May with Florian Wirtz, Liverpool had that extra time and that extra bit of space allowed, perhaps, for lack of a better phrase, to really focus on this. You know, Arsenal were still very much competing for the Champions League at this time. They were making sure they finished in the top four. That wasn't a guarantee until relatively late on. City, again, in the top four race. Newcastle, till the last day, in a top four race. Chelsea, very much in the same boat. They then have obviously had the final as well. You can say the same for United and Tottenham. Again, different in terms of where the current level of the clubs are. But all these Premier League teams who were so busy with their own seasons, Liverpool had free reign to go and just have these conversations, have these chats. And it looks like maybe that head start has worked. Again, they've got 3 players in already, while other teams are... some teams have got them in, but I'd say in terms of their absolute massive targets, I don't think Arsenal have quite got theirs yet. Obviously, Zubimendi, Kepa, it looks like they're going to be signing Norgard. They still haven't got their striker. You know, I think City is still in the market as well. So maybe the idea that Liverpool had a bit more time to run it, this has helped them out. So yeah, win the league more often. Win the league in April again next year, lads. It makes things a lot easier for us. Let's see. Naldo, if these players become legends, the Nike kits of them will become limited edition memorabilia. There hasn't been too many of them, has there? You're not wrong. Right, let's have a look at where we are going. Who else have we got? Yeah, Robert Singh says we now need to sell Elliott and Nunes, sign Gay and Isak. I do think we'll probably sign Mark Gay. I would be shocked if we signed Alexander Isak. I would go for that one. Let's see who else we've got. Yeah, Tom Rooney. I'm excited for all of these new lads to experience their first bus parades. Right. Any more? Oh yeah, Jack mentioned actually. Don't forget we signed 5 players. We got Armin Pex. Yeah, the young goalkeeper. You're fair to mention it. Again, another Eastern European player. You are right. Liverpool got 2 because they're letting Yaros is going out on loan and they've sold Kevin Keller. You're absolutely right. You're not wrong. I should have mentioned him, and the young kid as well. Apologies to the young lad and his family. Right then, that is it for today's show. Me and Dan, give us a few minutes. Gonna go over to Redmen Plus. I'm probably going to change my shirt as well because I'm sweating. But we are going to be available very shortly on Redmen Plus with our Redmen React show. If you want to get that show for half price for the, well, not just that show, our subscription service for half price for a month, if you use the promo code VERT, we made this in honour of Florian Wirtz, of course. Go to redmenplus.com, sign up as a monthly captain subscriber, use promo code VERT, WIRTZ. You'll get your first month for half price. There's loads over there already. Dan's spoken to absolutely everybody to do with Milos Kerkez, so if you want to know more about him, that is there for you as well. But we're going to have the Redmen reaction, have a little bit more in-depth chat about the player, the signing, what it means for Liverpool, and all that good stuff. So do go and check that out. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining me live on YouTube this afternoon. Catch you all next time.